The barracks at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado were spotless, as they had to be for the inspection scheduled that afternoon. A cleaning crew moved through the building with practiced efficiency, mopping floors, wiping windows, and ensuring every surface gleamed. Among them was an old man, maybe 78, wearing simple work clothes and pushing a mop bucket with steady determination. His silver hair was cut military short, his posture straight despite his age, and he worked with the kind of attention to detail that suggested experience beyond simple janitorial duty. 4 Navy SEALs sat in the common area, cleaning their weapons after morning training. Lieutenant Jake Morrison, Petty Officer Marcus Chin, and their teammates were relatively new to the teams, having graduated Bud S within the past 2 years. They were good operators, confident in their skills, but still learning the deeper lessons that only time and experience could teach. If you're wondering where this story goes, hit that like button and comment if you think some skills never fade regardless of age. Morrison noticed the old man working methodically through the room, his movements efficient, economical. "Hey, Pops," Morrison called out casually. "You missed a spot over there by the door." The old man looked up, smiled politely, and moved to clean the area Morrison had indicated. Chen laughed quietly. "Man's got to be pushing 80 and still cleaning up after us. That's dedication to the job, I guess." The old man continued his work without comment, but several team members noticed something. His movements weren't just efficient, they were precise, calculated, with the kind of spatial awareness that came from years of operating in confined spaces. When he moved around furniture, he checked corners. When he passed doorways, he briefly glanced through them. Small things, easily missed, but recognizable to those trained to notice. Senior Chief Petty Officer Robert Hayes walked into the barracks, saw the old man cleaning, and stopped cold. Hayes was 42, a 20-year SEAL veteran who deployed to every conflict zone in the past 2 decades. His expression shifted from casual observation to something like shock, then respect. He walked directly to the old man and stood at attention. "Master Chief Sullivan, sir, I didn't know you were working here." The old man straightened from his mopping, and suddenly he didn't look quite so old. "Senior Chief Hayes, good to see you. How's the team looking?" Hayes gestured to the young SEALs, who were now watching with confusion. "They're good operators, sir. Still learning, but they'll get there." The Master Chief nodded. "They always do. The teams have a way of teaching what textbooks can't." Now, before we continue, if this story has you captivated, please subscribe and turn on notifications. What happens next will blow your mind. Morrison stood slowly, beginning to understand he'd made a significant error. "Senior Chief, who is this?" Hayes' expression was serious. "Gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Master Chief Petty Officer Daniel Sullivan, retired. SEAL Team 2, SEAL Team 6 before it became DevGru, 38 years of active service. 3 Navy Crosses, 7 Silver Stars, 2 Purple Hearts. Master Chief Sullivan isn't cleaning these barracks because he needs the job. He's cleaning them because he's been doing it every week for 5 years, volunteering to stay connected to the community." The 4 young SEALs came to their feet immediately, their weapons forgotten. Sullivan waved his hand. "At ease, gentlemen. Senior Chief is making me sound more important than I am. I'm just an old man who likes to stay busy and feel useful. These barracks, this base, this community, they were my home for most of my adult life. Cleaning a few floors is my way of staying connected." Morrison's face burned with embarrassment. "Master Chief, sir, I apologize. The way I spoke to you, telling you about the spot you missed." Sullivan smiled warmly. "Lieutenant, you were doing your job. Standards are standards, and if I missed a spot, you were right to point it out. That's leadership. Never apologize for maintaining standards." Chun stepped forward. "Sir, with respect, why cleaning? You could be teaching, consulting, doing anything. Why volunteer to mop floors?" Sullivan set down his mop and pulled up a chair, sitting with the easy confidence of someone who earned his place. "Because this is where SEALs live, train, and prepare. By being here, I hear the conversations. I see the challenges you face. I understand what the current generation is dealing with. Sometimes I can offer advice. Sometimes I just listen. But I stay relevant, stay connected to the mission. Morrison approached his weapon, an HK-416 rifle he'd been cleaning. He'd assembled it with confidence, certain of his technique. But something in Sullivan's expression suggested experience that might see things differently. Morrison made a decision that would become legendary in team stories. He picked up his rifle and handed it to Sullivan. "Master Chief, would you mind checking my work? I assembled this after field stripping, but I value your assessment." Sullivan took the rifle, and his hands transformed. What had been the steady but aged hands of a janitor became the precise, practiced hands of a master armorer. He worked the action, checked the bolt, examined the gas system, and within 15 seconds had identified 3 issues: a slightly loose gas block, improper lubrication on the bolt carrier, and a magazine that wasn't fully seated. He corrected each problem with movements so fast and fluid they seemed choreographed, then handed the rifle back. "Good weapon maintenance, Lieutenant. These are minor issues, but in combat, minor issues become major problems. Your gas block was .02 millimeters loose. Wouldn't cause immediate failure, but after 500 rounds in desert sand, you'd start getting malfunctions. Your lubrication was too heavy for hot climates, would attract dust. And that magazine, seated 98% instead of 100%, might have cost you the first round in a firefight." Morrison stared at his rifle, then at Sullivan, genuine awe in his expression. "Sir, how did you identify all that in 15 seconds? Sullivan smiled. "I've been handling weapons since 1971, started with the M16A1 in Vietnam, worked with every platform the teams have used since. When you've done something 50,000 times, you develop an instinct for what's right and what's wrong. Your hands know before your brain does." Hayes spoke up. Master Chief Sullivan was the lead armorer for DevGru for 12 years. He trained the people who trained your weapons instructors. He's forgotten more about small arms than most of us will ever learn. Sullivan waved the compliment away. "I just have more time to practice. These young warriors have better equipment and better training than we ever had." "They'll be fine." Chun asked quietly. "Sir, 3 Navy Crosses. Can you tell us about them?" Sullivan's expression grew distant. 2 from Vietnam, 1 from Grenada. Each one represents a day when brothers died and I survived. They're not decorations I celebrate. They're reminders of debts I can never repay. The best operators I ever knew didn't make it home. I carry their memory by staying connected to the teams, by helping however I can, even if that means pushing a mop. Over the next hour, the young SEALs sat with Sullivan, asking questions, receiving wisdom that couldn't be found in any manual. He taught them advanced weapons manipulation techniques, shared insights about operating in hostile environments, explained the mental aspects of prolonged combat deployments. Every answer was grounded in decades of experience, delivered with humility that made the lessons more powerful. When the cleaning shift ended, Sullivan stood to leave. Morrison stopped him. "Master Chief, would you consider coming back to speak with our full platoon?" "Not as a janitor, but as an instructor. We have so much to learn from you." Sullivan considered. "I'll come back, Lieutenant, but I'll still bring my mop. There's dignity in all honest work, and I don't want these young SEALs thinking I'm above the basics. The day you think mopping floors is beneath you is the day you've lost perspective on what service really means." As Sullivan walked out, Hayes turned to his young teammates. "What you witnessed today is a lesson in humility, service, and expertise. Master Chief Sullivan could rest on his laurels, could demand respect based on his record. Instead, he shows up every week with a mop bucket, stays connected to the community, and teaches by example rather than lecture. That's what real leadership looks like. This story reminds us that true expertise doesn't need announcement, that service takes many forms and all are honorable, and that the most dangerous operators are often the quietest ones in the room. It reminds us that age doesn't diminish skill, that staying connected to your community matters more than recognition, and that dignity exists in all honest work. If this touched your heart, please share it. Drop a comment about a time someone's hidden expertise surprised you. Let's honor those who continue serving long after their official service ends. Thank you for watching, and remember, the person cleaning your floor might be the most skilled person in the building.